All right, folks, and welcome back to another edition of our venture in the visual novel If My Heart Had Wings. Last episode, we got more acquainted with Yoru. Not Yoru, I'm sorry. Asa. Yoru definitely got to stick up her rear end for some odd reason, to which backfired on her. That whole panty shot thing to her sister backfired, and everybody saw the darn thing. So, moral of the story last time, yeah, you might want to keep those personal photos off of the digital network. But as everything else progressed, of course, then there was one little reminiscence of Amani and whatnot. And there was a particular fearing that our main character had that we stopped on last time. And just before we get into it, just want to make a couple of announcements here. I am doing some more collabs with other voice actors, so stay tuned for that. One of the most recent collabs that I did is with Sono ASMR. So I highly encourage that you check that out. It depicts the story of two officers who have a high level of integrity for society, and they make sure to make a positive difference in their community as police officers, to which it also gives tribute to the police officers out on the front lines who are also holding integrity, and we encourage all police officers and all citizens to maintain a societal integrity, because that's what we need, is more respect among each other. So I highly recommend that you check that out. Also, another collaboration with a variety of people, but it's centered around me and one other voice actress, whom the two of us consider each other as siblings, being that we get along so well. So it's me and Kendra's Corner, as her YouTube handle goes, and we have a series called Totally Siblings. First episode came out this past Monday. Highly recommend that you check that out as well. So with that, let's get back into If My Heart Had Wings. So Amane, if you could do us a big favor and load up the previous scene. Thank you very much, and here we go. There was a mysterious feeling about her. The designs were made by Amane for her best friend.
親友？そう、私たちの大先輩のはずなんだけど、実はどんな人なのかよく知らないの。イスカさんって言って、アマネ先輩と2人でソアリング部を復活させたんだけど、その後いきなり学校を辞めちゃったんだって。イスカ。イスカ。
Does she know something? Asa?
あ、いえ、変わった名前だなって思って。
Oh, never mind. But I think Yoru knows something.
だからこれを作るんですか?
That's one reason, but that's not all. The mysterious clouds that you saw. We told you before how that's what we're aiming for, didn't we? We've spoken so many times about the last flight I took with Amane. We've been thinking about several reasons why we failed that time. There are basically three problems. I explained them simply so that Asa could understand. The first is the lack of lift. The glider we have now is extremely well balanced, and because of all the flights we performed, we made adjustments in the way it's been built. That's to say, it's an all-arounder. On the other hand, it doesn't specialize in any particular area, which might count as a negative point since it's been built for a specific purpose. The thing we need is wings that will allow us to fly high. When there aren't many upward drafts, we have to reach a high altitude as quickly as we can, so we need wings adapted for that. The next thing we need is piloting skills. We realize that it takes a lot of skill to find the upward drafts in the limited time we have to reach the morning glory. That's why I traveled to the airfield and took proper pilot training and then a few days ago finally got my pilot's license. Last of all is the flight plan. When the morning glory appears, completely different weather patterns to normal occur over Kazegarura. This affects where the upward drafts will occur, what kind they'll be, and how high they'll be able to lift the glider. Also, which winds we should ride. For that, we needed to put together a plan. So that's how it is. Do you understand so far? She gives a strong reply, but it doesn't really look like she understands. Not much we can do about that. She's a new member who hasn't even done any test flights yet.
簡単に言っちゃうと、より高く飛ぶために高揚力の翼に改造しようってわけ。それがこの設計図なわけよ。
Amane must have foreseen this when she drew these plans. However, there was no way she could have made it by herself. We would be the ones to build this glider that almost seemed like an illusion.
じゃあ早速取り掛かりましょうか。
We head to the dock, and the first thing is to make the new wings. The same way as before, it starts with us making the shape of the styrofoam. We already have experience of doing this, so we can get to work without delay.
こうやって作るんだ。感心してないで、朝も手伝う？はい。このヒートカッターで発泡スチロールを切っていくの。ほら、やってみ。
She's teaching Asa how to do it properly.
ゆっくりよ、ゆっくり。その調子よ。慎重にね。ちょっとどこ切ってんの？葵、ここ押さえてて。
Sure.
広いと作業しやすいわね。
Yeah, it's a little hot though. There's no air conditioning in the dock. We were able to use the electric fan we'd brought with us to keep cool. While dripping with sweat, we become immersed in the work.
あんな汗だくで必死な顔しちゃって。理解の外にいる頑張り屋さんばかりね。
Why don't you jump in and actually learn a thing or two? But I guess since you don't have any interest other than your sister, of course you wouldn't understand Yoru. Yoru, who was leaning against the wall, turned to leave the dock. Yoru, are you leaving?
飲み物買ってくるだけ。ここ暑くて死にそうだもの。姉さん、何かいる？じゃあサイダー。他の先輩方は？
She actually shows care? A true tsundere. Huh?
ああ、じゃあウーロン茶。私はコーラ。
Me too.
サイダーとウーロン茶とコーラ2つね。
With a straight face, Yoru left the dock. We looked at each other curiously, but we didn't really say anything and went back to work. There was still something we needed to do as part of a safe execution of the glider improvement project. That was cutting the grass on the runway. We gathered some people to help with the work on a midsummer Saturday afternoon under the blazing hot sun. About halfway through the work, Kotori and I went to greet the landowner at their home.
あずい。溶けちゃうよ、夜じゃ。ならこっち来て一緒に休めば？日陰涼しいよ。ジュースもあるわよ。
She's gonna stick it out.
ほら頑張って朝ちゃん。これやらないと飛べないんだから。はい。
I pushed Kotori's wheelchair back to where the others, covered in sweat, were working.
おかえりおかえりなさい先輩。んどうしたんですか？
Asked Asa, looking at Kotori's gloomy expression.
みんなごめん。
Everyone was puzzled by Kotori coming back with her head lowered in apology.
どうしたの？何かあったの？滑走路を借りられなくなった。
Dang it!
なんで？
Agaha, who was now even more puzzled, looked at me, who had accompanied Kotori. It's as Kotori says. They said we can't use it. The landowner is an old member of the Soaring Club, and last year they had willingly let us use the runway. But this year, we can't use it.
実は
Kotori told everyone the situation. That person knew that the Soaring Club had lost its status. The school had requested that they not allow former members of the Soaring Club to use the runway. The one who contacted them was Mr. Tobioka. Because it doesn't count as club activities, if any problems occurred, they couldn't be held responsible. That's why they can't let us use it, even if they wanted to. It's a natural decision. It wasn't their fault at all, and they apologized over and over.
またあのおっさんか。ったくどこまで邪魔する気よ。
True. Yes, is the school in the right for cutting ties? Yeah. But at the same time, what they're referring to is the motive of Mr. Tobioka doing what he's doing. So even though there is a legitimate side to it, they also know that he had a hint of, how shall I put it, resentment towards these folks as well. So there are some things that you can do the right thing with the wrong motive, and that's a problem. He probably realizes that we're carrying out our activities in secret. He must already know that it was us who took the glider from the storeroom.
ごめんなさい。私のせいだわ。私がこんな体だから余計に警戒されちゃったのよ。
What? That's got nothing to do with it.
なんでそうなるわけ？
Kotori was acutely aware of something in the landowner's reaction. There certainly was an element of that. If something were to happen to someone disabled like Kotori, it's possible that it would become an even bigger problem. Although the landowner didn't actually say anything like that, it seems that Mr. Tobioka had made that implication. They didn't say it directly, but it seems that the school had said something like that to them.
何それ？最低。
That is low. However, that's not the reason. The real reason they refused is because the Soaring Club is treated as having been shut down.
じゃあ飛べないんですか？
Yep.
滑走路がないんじゃお手上げね。そんな。
Asa looked sadly at her hands that were covered in dirt from pulling up weeds.
他の場所探してみたら？無理よ。平らで十分な広さがある土地なんて限られてるもの。バカみたい。
You got a better idea, Yoru? Yoru, who was sitting in the shade listening to our conversation, spoke like she was irritated. Kotori glared angrily at her.
その程度で諦めちゃうわけ？さっきまでやる気満々だったくせに。何よ、あんたには関係ないでしょ？あるわよ。あの場所を貸してるし、姉さんだって巻き込まれちゃってるし。
She involved herself on her own accord. Get the terminology straight.
でもその程度なら さっさとやめちゃった方がいいかもね。
If you got any better ideas, let's hear it, Mr. Smarty, Mrs. Smarty.
ヨルちゃん、やめて。本当のこと言ってるだけよ、私は。
Yeah, you can only identify problems, but you don't come up with any solutions yourself, do you? That kind of behavior really irritates me. There's nothing mistaken in what Yoru is saying. If we get depressed and give up because of something like this, it would have been better if we'd never even started in the first place. That's why no one has anything to say back to her. We won't give up. Isn't that right, Kotori?
ええ、もちろんよ。
Just as things were starting to go well, we were hit with a big counterpunch, which left us reeling. But we're not ones to lose heart at this sort of thing.
でもどうするの？他に場所探すったって。
No, there's no need to do that.
ん？
It's simple. All we have to do is be accepted as a club. That's what we were aiming for originally. There's no reason for us to be depressed, is there?
ああ、そっか。
Kotori nods enthusiastically.
この程度、私たちにとっちゃ逆境でもなんでもないって、あのおっさんに思い知らせてやるのよ。
I agree.
飛岡先生の嫌がらせは今に始まったことじゃないしね。
True. The test flight will have to be postponed a little longer, though.
皆さん、この私をコケにしてくれたこと、必ず後悔させてやるわ。
It would appear that we need to speed things up when it comes to the restoration of the club, so that we can return to the sky as soon as possible. Still, I get where Yoru's coming from, but still, at least share some solutions. Asa had become a member, so one of Akari's conditions had been met, which meant there were two left to fulfill. The lack of a teacher to act as an advisor, and the lack of qualified personnel. If the advisor is someone who has qualifications, that would fulfill both at the same time. But that would be just too good to be true.
すまんな。お前たちの気持ちはわかるんだが、俺も演劇部の顧問やってるから。
先生が演劇なんて似合わない。そうだそうだ。
うるさいよ。俺は今でこそ慶風学園で教師やってるが、本当は芸術家志望だったんだ。芸術はいいぞ。お前らもグライダーなんかやめて演劇部に入れ。
嫌です。お断りです。
先生ちょっと傷ついたぞ。
The teacher left hurt, and we all slouched forward, dejected. By the way, that was our homeroom teacher.
やっぱダメか。
This isn't going very well.
どの先生ももうどこかの部活を受け持っているんですね。
Said Asa as she looked at the list. This is a list of teachers at Keifu Academy that Aga had made. It has information on their homeroom class, clubs to which they are advisor, and whether or not they are on Mr. Tobioka's side. Today, using that list, we've been going around and asking all the teachers who seem like they might cooperate with us. But you did really well to get all of this information.
アゲハちゃんの情報網を甘く見ないでよね。あとは山野辺先生くらいか。
We can't ask him. Even more of his hair will go white.
そしたら今度こそ新妻と離婚の危機に。
Yeah, we don't want to do that. Our advisor last year, Mr. Yamanove, is young, but he's married. It seems his wife is a slender and pretty woman, but seeing her husband, who she'd only just married, aging right before her eyes, she screamed, "This shouldn't be happening!" Apparently. I guess I can understand how she feels.
この際そこは諦めてもらうしかないわ。
Kotori, let's not be unreasonable. You can't just decide something like that.
そうだよ、かわいそうだよ。奥さん美人だって噂なのに。じゃあどうするのよ。それは。
Let's think of another way. It's after school. We're taking a day off from club activities. And while they take a day off from club activities, we're gonna put a wrap on this particular episode. So, thank you so much for watching this time around. If you like what you saw this time around, maybe leave a like. And if you want to see more, maybe consider subscribing as well. And as I checked my latest count on subscribers, we are almost at 200. So with that, I will plan out another live stream to celebrate 200 subscribers once we hit that mark. So I thank you so much, people, for your support. And once again, I encourage that you check out some of the other collaborations that I did with a few folks recently. One of them being Sono ASMR, once again, with our particular cut, which was SWAT team members with a particular elite division within that division known as the Mobile Apparatus for Aerial Combat, which is a acronym that I came up with for, of course, mecha genre. And another one, the new series with me and Kendra's Corner called Totally Siblings. Basically, it's a time where we all get together and basically just have a good time, joke with each other. I'm really liking this series. It's actually quite humorous. Gives me a chance to really just get a good laugh at the end of the day. So I highly recommend that you check it out. So with that, thank you so much again for watching. And until next time, happy mixing, everyone.